I want Ari to share some Torah with us right from the Parsha, that we can begin with the energy of Shabbat that we've sort of collected and then bring it into the week and give us a base from the Torah portion that we can build this whole session on. So Ari, take it away.
Hello, my friends. There's an idea in this week's Torah portion which is so central to the Torah that in many ways it cuts to the very nature of what it is to be a Jew. The Torah says, Ki yeh becha evyon me'echad achicha. If there is among you a poor man of one of your brothers inside any of your gates in your land, which the Lord your God gives you, you shall not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from your poor brother, but you shall open your hand wide to him, and shall surely lend him sufficient for what is his need, in that which he lacks. Beware, that there not be a wicked thought in your heart, saying, the seventh year, the year of release, is at hand, and your eye shall be evil against your poor brother, and give him nothing. And he cried to the Lord against you, and it be a sin to you. You shall surely give him, and your heart shall not be grieved when you give him, because for this thing the Lord your God shall bless you in all your works, and in all that you put your hand to do. For the poor shall never cease out of the land. Therefore I command you, saying, you shall open your hand wide to your brother, to your poor, and to your needy in your land. Now there are so many critical ideas packed in here. Firstly, the centrality of tzedakah. Recently I shared how the mitzvah of Shabbat became my own, and how I developed a deep relationship with it. Well, in my family, it became quite clear to me from a young age that our family value, our family thing, was giving tzedakah. When people would come to the house and ask for tzedakah, which was a frequent occurrence in our neighborhood, that people would make the rounds, particularly from Israel, my father would call me in to be there in the room for the conversation, in which he always treated the person with much dignity and respect, while determining and understanding what exactly he was giving to. Then he would call me over to his desk when he wrote the check, so I could see him writing it and giving the check to the person with a smile on his face. And I remember feeling the pain and even resentment when he would do that, as I immediately thought of whatever thing it was that I wanted that I could spend that money on for even a fraction of that money. When I shared that frustration with my father, he told me, that's what Jews do. They give. He told me that the rule to live by when it comes to tzedakah is give until it hurts. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that that's an objective truth, but it's definitely made an impression on me as it did on him when his father told him those same words when he was a boy. Tzedakah is often defined as charity, but I don't think it's an accurate definition. Tzedakah comes from tzedek, which means justice. The implication is that when we tithe, when we give tzedakah, we're performing justice, that the money rightfully belongs to the recipient of the tzedakah. If we don't tithe, if we don't give tzedakah, we're essentially stealing. Perhaps charity could be called what we give over the 10%, over the maser, over the tithe. That is above and beyond. Now, tzedakah is also unique in that we're promised reward for it in this world. Not only in verse 10, which I just read to you, but also in the 3rd chapter of Malachi, in which God tells us, bring all the tithes to the storehouse, so that there may be food in my house, and test me now with that, says Hashem, the Lord of hosts, if I will not open for you the windows of heaven, and pour for you an overflowing blessing. So we're promised that when we give tzedakah, we'll see tangible rewards in this world, probably also in the next, but definitely in this world as well. Okay, so we all want to be close to God, but if God's presence fills the earth as water covers the sea, then we're all close to God. So what does it truly mean to be close? We've discussed this before. In the spiritual world, you're close to something when you are similar to it, and you are distant from something when you are different from it. That is why the relationship with God is so intimate and personal, because when you embody God's attributes in this world, then you are quite literally a vessel for His light and His presence in the world. Now, at the most basic level, God created the world in order to give. Our sages tell us that Abraham spent his life seeking God before God even spoke a word to him. He pondered and philosophized and searched. So what happened? Abraham looked at nature and realized that it was finite, and therefore something had to have created it. People worshiped the stars, but they too were finite. The only thing that could create the finite world outside of the finite is the infinite. And if something is infinite, it is definitionally lacking nothing. So the only reason for this infinite being to create the world is to give. And so the ultimate act of godliness is to give. This is why in the world of truth, we should say thank you to the people who we give tzedakah to, who we give charity to. If the poor people didn't exist, then who would we have to give to in order to come close to Hashem? On some level, they are giving to us the opportunity to perform this godly act and come truly close to God. And that, in and of itself, is charity. So while they say thank you to us, perhaps we should also be saying a very sincere thank you to them. I know I've been guilty of this before, walking around thinking, I've earned this money, it's mine. But it really isn't true. Even the money we earn isn't ours. It's charity that God is giving us. The fact is that we're all charity cases. And that is why even people who receive tzedakah are obligated to give 10% of the charity they receive to tzedakah themselves. In the 19th century in England, there lived a famous Jewish philanthropist named Sir Moses Montefiore. Queen Victoria once asked him, "What is the extent of your wealth? How much do you own?" Sir Moses told her that it would take him a few days to do some accounting, and then he would reply. When Sir Moses told her his wealth, she became upset, saying, "This is offensive. Everyone knows that you have far greater wealth than that." And he explained that he considered his true wealth to be whatever money he had given already to tzedakah. Anything else that he possessed was only temporary and could be confiscated or lost. Only what he gave to tzedakah was truly his forever. Hashem, Abba, please let us internalize why giving tzedakah is so important. For you could provide for the poor yourself. But as you told us in your Holy Torah, you want us to give so that we realize that we're all brothers. Throughout the Parsha, it says, give to your brother, your brother, your brother. We are all connected. We are all responsible for each other. Please, Hashem, let your nation Israel realize that we are not co-religionists, but we are brothers. And when we realize that, then all of mankind can realize that we are all your children, that we are all brothers, that we're responsible for each other. Then peace can break out all over the earth, and we can come together and raise our eyes to you, together in peace and love in the holy city of Jerusalem. Shalom, my friends. Back to you, Jeremy.
Oh, thank you, Ari.